Don't get me started.
Don't get me started. Oh, shut your mouth. Yeah. It's episode 144, Jeremy.
It is 144. It's a very big number. The numbers get bigger and bigger as is the passage of time and the end of our lives crawling ever closer.
Yes. That's nice. Let's think of it like that, nihilistically. Welcome in everybody to this, the 144th episode of Don't Get Me Started. I'm Alex. This is Jeremy.
That's
and
me.
It's very nice to have you here.
Must be cold. Alex has borrowed Jez has borrowed one of Alex's hoodies.
Yeah.
Actually, this is mine from a very long time
What
ago.
does it say on it there?
What does it say? South Side.
I was going to say.
Yeah. I bought this in America. Must have been 2012.
I really wanted it to be like an old band that like just isn't current anymore. Wheatus, just something like that. Just like they're going to be big.
Is still going.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
they've been banging out that old track.
Yeah, and Jez is a bit blurry. Yeah, we've noticed that I'm still a bit cloudy on this side. But,
I don't know what's going on with this because it did disappear, and I kept this in here.
Yeah,
so as not to put it in what I would define to be the cold room.
I think you might be on to customer services. I think having removed the cold room, now you might have to look at a warranty or something instead.
God.
We might have to go back to 1080p for a while.
No,
but I mean that's fine because we've also been meaning to yeet ourselves onto Facebook and YouTube at the same time, which is a lot easier to do in 1080p.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like I don't even think Facebook can handle 4K. Still in like 2008 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like things that I don't believe anything's wrong with it. Just the strange thing about me. I'm sure there's something fixable that is fine, and I'm just missing something that I haven't even bothered looking at it. Basically, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm one of these guys that just presumes everything's going to be fine.
Whereas I'm the opposite. I presume everything's fucked, and then I'll work backwards from that point, and then I'll be very happy when it isn't fucked.
At least they're hoodies, not shirts. It's true. Yeah, no.
That's a good Star Trek joke. I appreciate that.
Boom. I know, it was nice. It's cold, Jeremy.
It is cold, yeah. And for it to be cold here, like normally you're like flat is somewhere where I can go and it'd be tropical all year round.
Yeah, it's normally pretty good. It's just the weather it's comfy and it's cozy, and I didn't want to put a shirt on. So as a result, I can't have the red crocheted knitwear behind me because I blend in with it, so I had to take it out.
And you can't see him.
So yeah. So welcome in everybody. Harmstone's here. Dr. Fruitbat's here. I see Goblin Tea Power is here.
Must not be a Game Master night. Their Game Master.
No, her character died.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know. Yeah. I said it very confidently. No, just listen. What can I just explain something about Dungeons and Dragons?
If you must.
I must.
I mean, I'd prefer you didn't.
But you know, for the
I can't stop you.
Benefit of those that don't know.
For the benefit of those with flash
photography
or dungeon doggraphy.
Essentially, there's always. Can I just say? It was the same in my group when not just D&D when I used to run Masks of Nyarlathotep, which is a Cthulhu game, and when I ran Storm King's Thunder, which is a D&D game. There's always a prick that needs to be kicked out of the group.
I see. And in this instance, it's Joe.
It's Joe, yeah.
I mean, we knew that from all of her sciencey bullshit. Like
yeah. She's very provocative,
We know
Joe.
the type, so...
She can she pushes your buttons. Do you know what I mean?
And not in a good way.
And not in a good way. And they are... and they probably have had enough of her shit, basically.
Yeah.
And... So it got to that point where she's like, when we see that she comes in here a lot more, we'll know it's true that essentially it's too much player killing, stealing shit, just running around the Dungeons and Dragons game world, getting on people's nerves.
Just breaking, the general etiquette of the game.
Oh yeah. Joe looks
fucking
harmless.
around unnecessarily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
We don't need that. There's
necessary.
A social contract that we all have to abide by.
Yeah.
And that's the best way with it. With Jo, she has this sweet and innocent look, but she is anything but. Just saying.
Runs around breaking into people's dungeons. And,
yeah, and finding their dragons.
Yeah, and killing their dragons for no reason other than because they can.
Just because it's there.
Fucking dungeons, fucking dragons.
Yes, so probably. But anyway, welcome in, Joe. I'm so glad you're here.
Well, the real reason is there is a plague among my gaming group. Yeah, that makes sense.
A plague on both your houses.
Yeah.
Which is where they go and play.
Yeah, much like, DGMS. Is it going to happen this week? Checks if everyone's healthy. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Right, we're all good. Yeah.
Tamsin has a note from the Mamsenaki, by the way.
Okay.
For what?
I like that she sent it via you, Harmstone. That's, has she not got her own communication methods anymore? That's kind of interesting.
Yes, so...
It's good that you're close in that way.
It is. Well, welcome in, everybody. Well, various things we want to show you now. Not now, but like throughout the evening. Obviously, we've got things that we'll always do, like Am I the Arsehole? And we're gonna see what's happening. Some stuff has happened. Various bits and pieces. So she's prioritizing seeing the Mamsenaki over MAFS.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll be here for half an hour, and then you'll disappear in the customary Harmstone way. Like,
you can watch these things later.
Yeah, MAFS isn't live. They recorded it years ago, so you should be here where it's live and watch the other shit on demand without adverts later. Just makes more sense. Or you could do what other sensible people do: not watch it until it's finished and then binge it, because then you don't have to wait for all of the insufferable shit to happen. You can just fast forward through it. Karis is currently watching the beginning of the current season.
Yes.
And they're all cunts. Is basically what I've gleaned from the situation.
Yes, they are all cunts. There's in a little group that I'm in, talking about it with Harmstone and Aletha and Tamsin. I'm not really contributing. I'm just laughing at it and nodding in agreement and realizing that no one's seen me say anything. So I'm just like looking at my screen, nodding up and down. But
quite right. That is true.
That is true. Correct.
That is an accurate assessment of the situation.
I think generally speaking, everyone agrees with what's going down. No one's gone, actually, I think she's all right, when they're not, basically. So I was going to do a segment called Quick Maths, where I quickly give you a rundown of what's going on with maths.
Karis made an observation the other day that I can't say, and I'm going to have to be deliberate here, I can't say MAFS when I'm talking about Married at First Sight, the acronym that. Right. I keep calling it maths. Because I just can't say maths like
by the way,
colloquial bullshit.
I did realise we've been saying maths too much, and I was about to say what it was, because I'm always aware that like jargon and acronyms creep in. But yes, it's Married at First Sight.
I'm not going to kill you for not knowing that, Joe. Actually, I'm going to congratulate you on your
the opposite.
Your brilliant idea of not knowing what the fuck it is.
Listen, I was once like you, Joe.
It was a happier time.
It was a nice time, but now I'm distressed. It is an intense show, and if you haven't watched the show, it's a show where people, experts, match up
very, very quotation marks
people. Although I do like the experts, and they're often amusing to me because they're very cool, calm, and collected in their fucking surgical roasting of the people. They never say you're a fucking idiot. They just say it very gently. So, had you considered what you've done possibly isn't the right way to do it, and it's resulted in this person being very upset. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been an idiot." And they're like,
but also, we'll orchestrate the loudmouth talking about bullshit that he's obviously going to talk about because he's a fucking loudmouth. We'll just blow that bomb up in the middle of a dinner party, and it'll sound like an episode of EastEnders, and fuck off.
They pretend like everything's for the good of. This will be good for your relationship.
Fuck you.
And
it's
for
good
TV.
for ratings.
Great for TV. So
people just love watching people argue, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah. I mean, here's how I feel in a segment which is kind of like Quick Maths and what I'm talking about right now, but how I feel about this is that when you watch things like Love is Blind or like The Circle or Big Brother, I suppose, or any of these kind of reality TV show, they put stuff in so they'll fucking stir the pot. And whilst that is certainly true of this one, a lot of the drama that comes from Married at First Sight is from the rope that is given to hang themselves with. Some stuff happens without them doing anything.
Yeah. It is very manufactured. So when they're like, oh, it's not scripted, no, it's not. But you know exactly what you're doing when you put this set of questions in front of the group. you know, based on the personalities, and especially because the experts are like experts, at least in personalities and how people are going to react to things. And it's like, oh, you're saying the loudmouth blonde who can't shut her mouth is going to be offended by literally anything that somebody says about their relationship and blow up. Oh, quelle surprise. So it's bullshit.
It's very easy. There's one bit, it wasn't orchestrated by anyone in particular. A lot of the couples got together one night, and then, because one of them's a loudmouth, he's like, gossip, 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 gossip. And someone said, gossip, 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 gossip. And it just went boom. So it doesn't take much to light that fucking blue touch paper and stand well back. But if you haven't seen the show, people get married at first sight. They meet at the altar.
Watch Love is Blind instead. It's a lot better.
That's a good show. And I thought that was drama-laden until I saw this. I did think about this, Jeremy, and I don't know if we talk about this today. I presumed, and maybe our resident know-it-all will opine on this, I presume that the marriages aren't real. They don't really get married.
I also...
And the whole thing is just put on like they're getting married, and when they do their final vows and say we're going to commit, nothing is set in stone. It's all a work, to use a wrestling term.
I think that they may, when they come to do the final kind of vows, it is at that point perhaps that they do. And realistically, you can have a wedding tomorrow, and you can bring in a priest and do all that kind of shit. But unless you actually then go and do the marriage certificate and all that kind of thing, it means nothing anyway. So you could get married a bunch of times.
Yes. It's a lot easier. I should say, right, there you go. Not anymore. They used to be. That's interesting they used to be. Because there's a concept.
And then they realised that the format didn't work and that none of the couples stayed together, and it was a lot of fucking paperwork.
Yeah. Because I would have thought the way they're doing it would be the way I'd have done it from the beginning. Because, like, therefore we obviate the need for any of this fucking, like, bullshit bureaucracy. You just go, listen, the guys back home don't need to know. We can just move along with this and make out like it's real. It saves us a lot of hassle. Guys, it's not really real, but you're going to act like it's real. And you're going to refer to each other as husband and wife, and you're going to take it really fucking seriously, and that's the ball game. You ready? And they'll
If they aren't real, then what's the point? You make a very good point, Dr. Fruitbat.
Yeah, I mean, the entertainment is real because, much like wrestling, even though the outcomes are rigged in that regard, and it's a work in that regard, the entertainment is real in that sense, and in the end, isn't that the real truth? The answer is no. But I mean, you don't make a good point. I mean, there's no stakes, is there? Because if you marry someone at first sight,
so basically, the show's vegan. There are no stakes.
There are no stakes, no high stakes. So yeah, I would say if they aren't real, then what's the point? The point is I don't care whether they ever got married or not. I'm just happy to see them shove two people together.
You can stop right there. I don't care.
And that's it.
And that's the end of that.
But it has been a lot of fun. There's been some terrible cunts on Series 8 and some awful people. And some of them, honestly, I could go on about all night and I won't.
Fair enough. Harmstone says he would like to hear me do a commentary of MAFS. I tell you what, Harmstone, if you set that up via your podcast, do one of the seasons that I haven't seen, which is literally any of the others other than the most recent British 2, and I will sit there with you and watch it and comment along with you there as well. Like, I will do that. If that's really what you want, but you will probably regret life after an episode and want to stop.
It's not real enough to be exciting and not staged enough to be interesting. That's such a great line. It's really nice. I don't know if it's actually
true. They should put that on the poster.
Because I think it is just staged enough in the sense that it's not staged, but the pot-stirring letters and stuff is absolutely enough to make it interesting.
And also, the people are so dense generally that they can't tell the difference between real marriage and fake marriage anyway, so they believe it's real.
And what the thing about this, for me at the very least, is it doesn't hang on the marriage. It doesn't stand and fall on the conceit of the marriage being real or not. None of that. They could just say these people hang out at first sight, and I would still have the same amount of drama that makes shut the fuck up.
There must be a decent acronym you can bring together for something like they hang out at first sight. Like they meet and then they chat for a bit and maybe they marry. Like you can probably work that out to be like the cockface or something like that. That would be good.
The conceit is irrelevant to me. What is the bread and butter of this is just watching their idiocy fall apart and be transparent before your very eyes, basically. And it doesn't really bother me if they're girlfriend and boyfriend or married, not married, you know. So in that regard, the end result is the same for me. And the end result is cunt's gonna cunt. And I love it.
Yeah, I can just like walk down to the high street and see that, though. I don't need to have my entertainment based around it. They definitely had steaks a few times. I saw them and thought, steaks.
Yeah. And I do find it interesting from I started to think I should have been a psychologist.
I often like sit back and watch people and be like, yeah, I know why you're acting like that, and I could fix it like that. And I'm like, I probably should.
I think to myself, I'm so into psychology. I'm so into why people do that.
And people watching
I'm like,
all that kind of
you're
stuff.
doing this because your parents have brought you up this way. You have lived in this life. You've lived in this bubble. You've lived in this naive little sheltered world, and you do not know what the world is like because you've been provided for it by mummy and daddy, and now you're beholden to what they think. That is it. And your entire life is an A4, A5 piece of paper. And that's why you're giving this guy shit. And I'm like, And that's just me making shit up. And I'm right. So imagine what I'd be like with a fucking degree. I'd be fucking
insufferable. Wait, is that not what you were going to say?
So I do love it. I do love it. But what I will say is it's super intense. And I cannot always... I get very kind of like this. I get right, shut up. Oh, you're a fucking idiot. Stop talking. And I have to stand up and walk out. And at one point, Aletha was filming me kind of like... Because she finds it so hilarious that you can't do anything to the thing. I just... Oh my God, I can't believe you're saying that. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just shut your mouth. I'd be great on Gogglebox.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Maybe we should do like a DGMS Gogglebox sometime. That would be quite fun. Like, they get to choose what we watch, and we just sit and watch.
We react to it. That's why reaction videos are popular, I suppose.
Yeah. Just as an extra thing sometimes. But there you go. Anyway, let's stop talking about maths because I don't like
people
maths.
might be bored of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conversation, but still. Anyway,
we've got shit to say.
We do. We're not even in a segment yet. Should we go into a segment?
Yes, let's.
Well, it's the segment that we like to call "This Is Happening."
In a world filled with haps and naps, two men have risen above to bring you This Is Happening.
Not quite so slick on the timing that time.
It's still really good, though.
It was within a second or two.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's still good.
This Is Happening, the segment in which we discuss the haps and naps of our general lives and society.
And
haps,
you can join in.
The good things, naps, the bad things, and maps sometimes when we have kind of middle opinions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there might be some stuff, but you can use your channel points to put that in.
You can, and actually the only hap that has been submitted so far is maths. So,
well, we talked about that. So,
but yeah, seriously, Harmstone, if you want me in on this, then arrange it and just give me a time and tell me what streaming service to use.
Yeah,
and we'll go for it.
I mean, I did think at one point it might be fun to have various sections on Don't Get Me Started, where we get started about certain TV shows or certain things, because we have talked about it a lot, and I do feel like there's an opportunity.
The only problem of doing that in DGMS proper, as it were, is that we're only ever talking to a certain sector of the audience. Whereas if we did it as an extra thing, then those people can tune in.
It's true.
It's true. And access what they want to access, and not
if
what
you
they
don't want to get started about that sort of stuff, you won't be interested.
Yeah, it's true.
Did someone knock on my door?
No, that was like something settling, like a dishwashery type noise. Okay, cool. I guess.
Well, what has been happening for you?
Right, let's consult the list. Oh yes, that's it. I am amazing.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
This past week, I have been on a manly fixing stuff, DIY, technical binge of awesomeness. And it started with, on the weekend, I had 2 light fittings in the house that were fucked. And I wanted to change from the 2 light fittings were those ones that have multiple bulbs in them.
Oh, yes. Like a kind of a disc with things pointing in different directions.
Similar, but it's more like a hanging-y thing and lots of different bulbs. And so I wanted to change that, get rid of that, and just have a normal drapey with a light bulb type thing so that I could put smart bulbs in it. And I did that. I changed 2 light fittings in the living room and in the downstairs hallway. put smart bulbs in them. Now I can talk to my technology. And while the smart stuff is HAP, and I really like it, I'm mostly saying HAP, my ability to change light fittings and do electronics and like follow instructions and stuff. I'm pretty happy with that.
And I went around there and I've seen it.
You thoroughly enjoyed
I loved it.
Telling the lights to be on and off.
You can tell the lights to be on and off. You can tell the lights to be different colours. And also...
And different brightness.
That's what I want. As soon as I thought, does this dim? And it does dim.
You can do it with these as well. Did you know? You don't even need to change your light fittings. You just need to buy the bulbs.
So is it within the bulb? The power is in the bulb. The power is in the bulb all along.
The power is in the bulb, yes.
Oh, that light's... I was about to say that light's gone out, but we turn these ones off. I was like, what the fuck?
We turn this side off because it creates a thing. Maybe it won't create a thing if it's a smart bulb.
And plus, we can do things. Can you imagine getting it connected through to this?
That would be incredible. And you could easily do that. You could very easily do that.
But your thing...
It got better, though.
Yes.
And I haven't finished this job yet. I'm halfway through it. But I've done the technical manly bit of it.
Yes.
I then took my newfound electronics skills and I am installing in our new old second-hand car.
Yes.
That doesn't have this in because it's old. A reversing camera.
Ah, yes.
And so you have to wire it in so that when you put the car in reverse, it takes the power from the reverse light at the back of your car and then turns on the screen at the front. And it's a ball ache, I think is the technical term, as the kids say.
They say that.
But I've done the wiring-y bit of it. Now I just need to... so Keris can park, yes.
The car is tiny, Keris. Come on. Come on. It's a Clio. You can park that in a Matchbox.
But yeah, so I've nearly done that. I've done the installing the electronics bit in the light. Now I just need to find a place to put the camera on the back and drill it into the bumper and what have you. But the suggestion the instructions give is illegal, so I can't do that.
What's the suggestion?
They're like, take the number plate off, put the plate of it behind the number plate, and then voila, on your number plate, put the number plate back on it, holds it in place. I'm like, yeah, that obscures the number plate, and I'm going to get fucking pulled over. Or worse, Keris is going to get pulled over and crash the car into a police officer or some shit. So, no, bad idea. I'll put it like on the top or something.
It was in Jeremy's vows to teach me to park. Was it?
It was, yes.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, it was.
Forgive me, but I don't remember.
It was at the second wedding, not at the first one. It was the one
in Wales.
In Wales, the pagan style wedding.
Was this such a big deal that it came up on your vows? In the sense that,
oh yeah, Keris has never been able to park, and I am an epic parking ninja. So yeah. Also in her vows, and I do remind her of this often, is that she always has to laugh at my jokes.
That's so funny. She just say that's hilarious, and I wondered why she said it, and now,
you realise that she is
she's just
legally obliged.
Legally obliged. She does it even to me. That's hilarious. Oh no, you're hilarious. You're hilarious, and I'm just like, I am. That is true. Thank you very much. I didn't realise it's spilled over from a marital requirement.
I guess you're now in the vow
zone.
bubble.
Yeah. She just can't stop it anymore.
Yeah.
You're hilarious. You're hilarious. I'm like, goodness me, someone's broken Keris. I was saying earlier that she has said that one of her haps is perforated eardrum, because it turned out, as you were telling me just before we came on air.
Yes. Yeah, Keris hasn't been well for the last few weeks, and it's been a kind of question as what the fuck is wrong, because it was like a cold thing, and then she got over that, and then had this lingering cough. That's explainable. But then there's like pain in her head and dizziness and just general like
she's hanging around with you too much.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And so last night when she was not very happy and in pain and miserable, I'm like, well, just go back to the doctor. That's kind of the place you're at. Yep. Stop going to work where you have extra pain because it's loud and that hurts your ears, and just go to the doctor instead. And so when I woke up at midday today and went to the toilet and I heard the dulcet tones of Keris coughing, I'm like, oh, well, shit, she took my advice, I guess, because she's here in the house.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor. She's got a perforated eardrum.
Right.
Which is a bit like, those like foolscap things, the Polly Pockets.
Oh yeah,
they're perforated, but somebody didn't get the memo and they just stabbed her in the ear.
Her in the ear with it.
Something.
So, yes, and we were talking about this before. And she's ill, but now it's going to be okay. Now she knows what it is.
Now she knows what it is, yeah, and it's not Hap. I've got a perforated eardrum. It's Hap. I have a diagnosis. And
yes,
that is very often the problem. Is when you're not well and you don't know what the fuck is wrong, then that is so fucking demoralizing. So having an answer is wonderful.
And you said to me that this might have affected her balance as well.
Yes.
And I remarked, predictably, how this affected her prior to this time for the rest of her entire life. What's her excuse
for the last 30 years, basically? and I don't have an answer for that. But,
no.
Maybe when this fixes itself, she'll be like super balanced, Karis, and she won't fall upstairs anymore and things. You never know. You never know. Yes, that is Hap. Having answers is Hap.
Yes. And so you've done lots and lots of stuff.
Yeah, I'm a manly man.
That's cool.
TLDR, Jez is a man.
Cool, you can have him put some shelves up.
Yeah, that's easy. Easy mode.
Cool, because, I'm happy to do it. I'm just a little bit worried I'm going to drill through something and electrocute myself.
I've got the perfect tool for that.
Ah!
You put it up and it goes beep if there's electronics behind it.
What if it doesn't go beep?
Then there's no electronics there.
What a world we live
in. The chances of anything coming from Mars, the chances of there being electricity as high up as you will want shelves is very low anyway. The only thing is that sensor that you've got in the corner.
Yes, the alarm.
That's probably just coming straight down.
Yeah.
What's happened with you?
What's happened with me? Oh, I'll tell you something, guys. I don't want to speak too soon, but to all intents and purposes, finally, the roof is fixed. And I won't have to go on the roof ever again. Gone are the days of me taking variety of men up onto my roof and going, well, that's where that is, and that's where that is, and that's where that is.
Now when he does it, it'll be purely recreational.
It will.
He'll be taking men up to the roof for quite different reasons than before.
Quite what reason? I don't think about some sort of strange, sordid, drug-related or sexual mishap.
That's where I was going.
That I might be having that requires me to make the awkward journey to my roof.
You won't have to go on the roof. That's it. You've gone through the subterfuge there, Harmstone. He will still go on the roof.
He'll still do it in a storm.
He's a madman, but yes.
There was a storm the other day, and I didn't have to go up from there. But that was good,
I did go up a ladder in that storm. I channeled my inner Alex and had to fix the downpipe from the guttering again, and I MacGyvered that shit.
Nice,
because the where your gutter is, there's a pipe that brings the water down, and that keeps coming out. So I got one of Karis's like coffee pots. Empties out the coffee, obviously.
Yes.
Just wedge that in with the next one and then put a bunch of electrical tape around it. And that's how it sits now. MacGyver, bitches. I'm a electrical man and a MacGyver man. I'm available for hire.
Margaret must be chuffed. I know she always gets worried about the mess you'd make if you fall off. She's not worried about my own safety. She's worried about clearing that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's having someone to pay her. If you're dead, she'll have to go and get a real job.
Yeah, I know. She never had it so good.
No.
She never had it so good. But, essentially, these last year and a bit, the quick version is I've taken a variety of different people up on the roof, or they've flown a drone, or one guy turned up to fix the roof who wasn't even employed to come round. He just turned up one day and said, did you want your roof fixed? And I said, yes, who are you? And he's like, oh, I was told, I'll just be outside. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was super dodgy. Super dodgy. He wasn't employed by anyone.
Was he just trying to ear on someone else's business or something? What the actual fuck is going on again outside?
They're looking up at the roof and being really happy that it's not leaking.
Yeah.
But anyway, finally, after much toing and froing, the guy who is the agent for the property, the freehold property, who I think is incompetent, along with the people that...
Well, he owns a freehold. They're all fucking incompetent. Freeholds are stupid.
It's clear that they don't really want to spend any money. But, essentially, he said, no, we're not doing anything. We're not getting done. And I was like, ah! And I kind of basically just went for it and just barraged it. And I was barraging already. I'm like, you don't understand what's going on here, blah, 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 blah. And I got an independent person to look at it and they said, this is what I found independently. And they were like, okay, we'll look at it. But you have to complain. If you want something done in this country, you have to complain so you're blue in the face. Finally had someone come up there and they basically put a new thing on, a new stuff, and the guy was very competent. He told me all the things that were wrong, and he basically just stayed up there for about 4 hours after he'd done the thing, just ages, fixing everything. And I was like, this is incredible. Nice. And he said, I closed it all up, and I closed the stuff up. I didn't know if you wanted to have a look at it. I said, no, I think I'll be okay. I might look at it later.
You missed an opportunity to go on the roof.
No, the thing was, and this is what I said to Aletha, and the thing that you all know as well, which is that, like, he's either fixed it or he hasn't. Me looking isn't going to make any difference. And I'm not about to find a massive... You're
not going to go up there and drop your massive roof knowledge and go, actually had you considered doing this as well? Like, you're going to go up there like, yeah, that's certainly a roof, mate. You are... Nice, thanks.
Surely she's in the will. Margaret, you mean? Don't say you've written her out. I haven't written her out, but if I die by misadventure, she gets nothing.
Yeah, well,
good day, sir.
Because if you die by misadventure, it's probably that you've pushed her too far.
Yes.
And she's killed you. So
yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's very specific requirements to satisfy the will for Margaret to get something. Good day, sir. So, yes, really happy. And so far, so good. We've had 3 or 4 days of rain, which would normally mean a drip doth fall upon Aletha's head. But nary a drip, I don't know what I'm talking about, has fallen on her head. So
before drip, now no drip.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, said Aletha. And now she doesn't. So, great.
Had she considered moving a bit to the left? It could have solved you so many issues.
And then a step to the right. I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but the area where she gets dripped on, she has not a lot of movement opportunities at the time. You know, she's sitting there. So.
Is it a bit like our shower leak? You don't notice that there's a leak because it's dripping in a place that is wet anyway. That's how. Like, the only reason I noticed that we had a leak was because I was sat on the toilet and then drips came through the roof into the shower. I'm like, oh, right, okay.
Right. So yes, satisfactorily, the roof got done, which means, and you never get to see this, but what Jeremy knows is there's various bits and pieces that have been fucked on the side of this thing. It's got worse and worse and worse in various areas of the flat, where basically there's been some problems, and the guy has said, this is the reasons, I'm going to fucking sort it out. So it means I can now strip all this paint off and do lots of lovely DIY things. I don't know what it's going to look like because it might change the colour of this place, but I have a plan for this place, and it involves stripping the shit out of this stuff, repainting this shit, and having a great old time picking paint.
A change to the DGMS set.
I know, I love it.
Incredible. Yeah.
We're just blinded by the shiny lights. I know.
To be fair, everywhere that the light touches, as far as you are concerned on the camera, looks fine. It's directly above that,
yes,
where the water has caused
skillfully
massive damage.
Skillfully, you can't see it. Yeah. Skillfully, you can't see it.
Even when we decided we needed more headroom above our heads for making TikToks and stuff, we did not touch that, luckily. But,
no.
Yeah.
No. We've been careful.
Surely Alex's wall has to be red and Jez's purple. If anything, it should be the other way round so that he doesn't blend into that wall and I don't blend into this one. So purple there, red there, and then we'll contrast each other.
We'll see how it works. I was talking on Nova Stream, and I don't know why, but Ellie said something like, oh, you should film in front of a green screen. Like, we should use a green screen. I have a green screen, which I use to try and do some bits and pieces from my other channel, but I hadn't got around to it. And so I've got it, but, like, how we do that and what would be the point, I don't know.
It's not really necessary, is it?
Do you know what? You know what you could do is you could just build, like, regardless of what happened around here, you could just build a bit of a set.
Yeah, and just put it there every week.
Just put it there every week. So if you, because what I'd really like, this is so boring, I think, is what I really want is like a deep blue, like a royal, I want to say royal blue, like a deep blue, you know, the kind of blue that, it's incidentally the same blue as the cupboards they have in all of the MAFS apartments, and I really like them. Anyway, it's like a dark blue, and I want it all my cupboards and a lot, you know, maybe bits and pieces, but that doesn't look, if you imagine dark blue behind me, I just don't think it's really very good. But
it wouldn't work from a camera point of view, but also, you know, this is your living room, so it will be what it will be.
Yeah.
And we'll make it work. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, but it would be great to have it'd be quite fun to make a I want to say an MDF or a plywood kind of thing that you just put up.
Just put behind us.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't even have to be anything. It would just be white, and you put the lights there. Easy.
Yeah.
It would be exactly the same.
Yeah, just white. It doesn't have to be anything.
Yeah.
It has to be amazing. But also, imagine you get one of these things you get where it's concertinas up, much like a green screen or like one of these things.
You just pull it down from the
you
roof.
Just pull it down and it's just like that, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a stupid idea. Let's fucking do it.
100%. Right.
Yeah.
Does anybody else... I don't think we've got any real
I haven't got any other haps or naps. No.
I've got nothing else I really want to say about it, so...
Are we about ready to move on then?
Yes, let's talk. Yes.
Okay, let me just find the button. There it is. Right. We are ready to move on. And as is now the tradition, if 2 weeks is a tradition, it's time to move to our next segment for the obsession that's taken over our lives. It's Don't Get Me Crafted. And this is where we'd play a sting. If we had one!
What is that? What does he say normally when it says that little dude? He's saying something.
It's like, and this is where I'd keep my something. If I had one.
Right.
So the if we had one is very similar.
Yes.
But it's the other. He's actually in a trophy room.
This
is where I'd keep my bowling trophy. If I had one, or something like that. Yeah. Fairly Odd Parents, I think that's from. It's a fairly well-established internet meme that I have not seen the origin of, and those are the best memes to bring into
Fairly
DGMS.
Odd Parents, yeah. So we started playing Minecraft. To catch you up, a lot of you already know, but Brogan set up a Don't Get Me Started world on Minecraft, and despite the fact I'd never played it before, and you had been playing it quite a lot.
I'd been playing it, yeah.
And Letha had been playing it over lockdown. We were all in various stages of it, from never before to very well established in it. We all decided to get together to play it, and I've been having a riot, building things, and I know that Duncan the singer has been building stuff and having a laugh, and so it's been a real lot of fun. And on last Friday, we all got on the Discord I'm pointing at my phone. We got on the Discord. That's on my phone. And we all talked to each other. And myself and Aletha were going to go out and drink.
I was going to do loads of things on Friday night, but instead
we all just...
Aletha and I went investigating local islands on a boat and dying a lot and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, went to like shipwrecks and new islands, new lands, new civilizations, boldly going to find some loot.
And then dying and losing our shit in the lava.
And then, similarly, me and Brogan, I'm quite cautious in gaming. I did it in Deathloop as well. I like the slow burn of the sniper. And Darren, you'll recall, ABG, loves to run headlong into drama. And in a similar way, I was like, slowly, don't want to get myself killed around little caverns. And Brogan turned up and just went, I must live! Boom, let's go! Running into darkness, fucking stuff. I'm like, oh my god. So the whole of Friday was just such a kind of slobber knocker of crazed fun as we're legging it around. I watched him fall into lava twice. It's just incredible. So we're having so much fun on that. It's been a laugh. And if you want to get in there, feel free. Honestly, slightly disappointed this isn't a stuffed Hamsnaki is knitted section. Listen, Don't Get Me Crafted could expand if she wants to send something.
Yeah, fine. I mean, we will lose interest in Minecraft at some point, and the segment will need to evolve. So, I mean, that seems like how long a natural successor. Yeah, my favourite part of Friday night was being in the voice chat and not seeing this because, as I said, Aletha and I were in a completely different part of the map, and you just went, oh shit. Oh shit, there's an Enderman. And then immediately it popped up on the screen. Duncan the singer was slain by an Enderman. And I'm like, well done.
I think,
good work.
For me, hanging around with Brogan has been so much fun. He's not in here to hear this, but basically...
can't say nice things about him when he's not here. Fuck him.
What a cunt. No, he said, what's down this way? I said, oh, that comes out into the lava cavern from a different direction that I discovered, and I'll show you the top of it, but it's got a very shallow wall path that's quite hard. It's only one block, so you've got to be really careful about walking down it. We don't really need to go down there. All it does is gets to the same point they're at. You can investigate and just start barreling down there, down this one, just like absolutely legging it down.
Very careful.
Can we just, so straight down. And we got to the bottom, and I said, see, it just goes down there. And he said, what's up there? And we looked round, and we found a waterfall. He said, let's go up the waterfall. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure. Is that going to work? And suddenly we're going up the waterfall. And on the other side, I said, so we better be careful. And we went down the waterfall and we found a big load of water. And I said, okay, well, how are we going to cross this? And he said, let's just dive in. And it's pitch black. And I'm like, fucking hell, we're going to get killed. He said, don't worry, there's probably not, like, water zombies in here. And I'm like, probably not. Like, it's just like, I'm like this anxious mess, like, and he's just like, just blazing a trail into the lava. And we got round and we got into this darkness and there was this big load of water. And he kind of he said, I'm going to go down. What's that down there? Alex, I'm going to investigate. And he dives in. I'm like, Brogan, come back. And he said, Alex, it's dragging me in. It's dragging me in. I can't get out. And I was just like, Brogan. It was just.
It was very like Indiana Jones. But only by voice because I couldn't see it.
It felt like something in Aliens. It's like, Brogan, come back. Brogan, you're breaking up.
Brogan, no.
So various things have happened, and we're going to show you. We've got a couple of pictures to show you, a couple of some actual footage.
Yeah. So adventure aside,
yes,
within the castle walls that you have built,
yes, we built a castle.
Aletha has been hard at work farming.
Yes.
To the point that things have gone a bit too far.
Yes.
Really. She's not a very good farmer. She's good at getting the animals.
Yes.
Not so great at storing them.
Yes.
I think that Peter might have something to say.
So about
the treatment, really.
There's a trader in there with 2 llamas.
Just looking at us like
I didn't even know that had happened. What happened here while you're looking at this is that at the bottom of Duncan's turret, which is not very much space, she brought in all these sheep and cows, and they just started mating. So the space just becomes smaller and smaller as more of them get added to it. Looks fine to me. So some background to this. You're going to come off that, yeah. So the background to this before we show you the next one is that after we realised that the 2 meter by 2 meter square area for them was inhumane, basically
you went to an 8 by 8 and added more animals to make it equally inhumane.
It's always fine until they add more animals themselves, but basically in a kind of a terrible display of sheep herding, which should have been set to the Benny Hill theme, Duncan and Aletha tried to kind of get them all where they needed to go. Finally, they're in there, and then a couple of nights ago, what we're about to show you happened, but a couple of nights ago, she tried to put them in this thing, and she kept breaking the thing and resetting it.
Oh, yeah.
She spent ages.
They were hopeless. And then Sheep Whisperer Karis came along with her wheat and just led them in.
After that situation, that got done. And this is just a prefix why I think this is amazing. I cannot overstate how... You've got to get this. This is the bit I'm trying to tell you. You cannot overstate how long it took Aletha to get those colourful sheep in that block where you saw that photo.
In the pen.
It took her about half an hour because she put them in, and then they found a way out of the back. She penned it all round. They found the one square. They got onto the ledge and they ran back round again. So she had to undo it all again. She put it back again. She got them back again. Then they found a hole and they went out that way. And then after she got it for a third time, they got out. They climbed out over the entire of the wall, and now they're out into the world. And now she's on the third ones. They're out of the castle walls.
These artificially coloured sheep out there with the normal sheep.
It defied. I cannot explain it. It defied belief that, despite the fact she absolutely understands how the physics of this work and all the blocks work, she managed to lose the sheep for a third time in like 10 or 15 minutes. And she was getting, and finally, she got them back in. And then they managed to find another way out, and she got them back in again. I'm like, I'm going mad. I said, baby, what are you doing? This is insane. She said, I've got them now. So finally, honestly, she got them in. And then later on,
let's just remind what it looked like with them all in and all safe. There they are.
Now we'll show you this footage.
Yeah.
Of her looking through some boxes.
She's looking through her inventory.
In the box area. Something explodes.
Well, at least they're not getting out of there. There is that.
They're still falling. They're still falling.
It's the space they've been craving, Alex.
To give you a clear idea of the geography of that, she organised all of our inventory into various boxes in like a little basement area
that was directly underneath.
Yeah, and then she right, and then she put a bit on the top and put the pen on top of that. So it's basically sheep and inventory. And she went down, and we think a creeper got in, which is the things that explode, which is why you hear a bang. And she went in, she was opening a chest and doing some stuff and looking for some stuff, and then there's a bang as the creeper explodes. No one will get to the treasure now. The creeper explodes, and it blows a massive hole, and it does her all this damage, but that's super irrelevant. When that goes off, it just starts raining sheep, and I lost my shit. Because she'd just been doing it. And, oh my god. So, I just...
Are you sure it was a creeper? Are we sure there's not some Guy Fawkes motherfucking sheep that was like, alright, you feel this time, 10th time lucky that you have got us into this pen. I will show you how wrong you are by exploding the fuck out of this pen and freeing our people. I wonder if any of the sheep died. I guess you'd never know whether they died. Any died in the explosion.
No, because like she was below them when it went off, and
you shouldn't below them. That's against rule 1.
Rule 1, yeah. It's raining sheep, hallelujah! It was just watching it. Because they were packed in so tight. You could not have. If we'd have tried to do that and tried to make it work, it would never have worked so beautifully. They just kept falling on her. And she was lying there, and all their stuff's blown up, and she's super damaged. She's on the ground. She's looking up.
Like, you can imagine the look on her virtual face, just looking up incredulous as her work was undone, and the sheep and cows just came pouring in.
It's singularly never not going to be funny when that thing goes off. Oh, that could win a clip. That could win like a Reddit clip of the month.
It could do, yeah. But to be fair, I don't think that's the funniest thing that has happened.
Oh no!
On Minecraft this week.
No, well, listen. There's lots of projects that we like to do. I've been building a tower. Various people have been building turrets. Actually, that would be a good one to use as well, because there's a great turret that Letha made. But that all pales into insignificance into this work of art which I made in full sight. Duncan has made a tower, and it looks over a rolling vista. So, with much patience, for many hours, I made this for him.
There's Alex. Look down there next to the sea. I mean, I'm not sure it's clear what you're trying to say to him, really, Alex.
I know. Could you
maybe have been
maybe
less
I'll be
ambiguous?
clear. Well, I dug that out, and then I ferried lava back and forth from the lava place to fill it in. So at night, in characters like, I don't know, 20 meters high, it can tell him at any time of day, but especially at night, that Duncan is absolutely a cunt.
It's good to have that reminder sometimes. I don't think he hears it enough. Now he'll see it every time he goes in.
And if he tries to douse the lava with water, we'll just get it in unbreakable obsidian tattooed on the landscape.
Well, if he tries to get rid of the lava, then it will just become obsidian, won't it? So it will be permanently etched.
Yes.
Like the Shepway horse on the side in chalk, it will be permanently etched in obsidian. So yeah.
So that's what we've been up to.
Blowing up sheep and calling Duncan a cunt.
It's just, honestly, it never ends. It never ends. So I've been so happy playing it. I don't know how long the spad will last, but I'm still digging it. So there you go. Right. Shall we move on?
We shall, yes.
Let's move on to the segment that we call Today I Fucked Up.
It was at this moment that Nathan knew. He fucked up.
He fucked up.
I
did like as well, to bring these two together, that in our Discord the other day, don't try the link, it's broken apparently, I'll fix it afterwards, that in his description of how Duncan managed to flood the castle and fuck everything up, he dropped in the line, "It was at this moment that Duncan knew he'd fucked up."
Yeah.
Which was an excellent tying together of the DGMS
he was
world.
Yeah. Duncan keeps doing all this stupid shit. Honestly,
oh boy, doesn't
he? In this one, he tried to make a lava factory, and it started burning the castle down. So he got some water. He got one block of water and poured it on there, turning them all to obsidian, which meant he couldn't dig it up. And then the water was everywhere, and he was just flooding everything. And he's like, "No!"
Classic Duncan. Today I Fucked Up is the segment in which we read stories that people have provided on Reddit about how they fucked something up, usually with hilarious consequences. Yeah. Would you like to go first?
I'll happily go first.
Go for it.
Okay. Today I fucked up when I asked my girlfriend to come up with reasons why we might break up.
This is a bit of a maths around the table task.
Oh, yes.
What reason could you think that this couple might break up?
Yeah.
Well,
they've never been a good couple. They've always been the worst couple. What are you saying? We've always been the worst couple. Oh, amazing. That's the other thing about maths. They love to be the best couple. I don't know that they're really
best couple.
This is the thing. This is clearly not the point of the game, but they think it's like they're going to get voted off. It's almost like every other reality TV. We've got to be the best.
It's not a popularity contest, but I'd like to win.
I'd like to. Well, people are watching us. Shut your mouth.
Yeah,
then, Jordan,
I've got other reality shows after this to consider.
Today I fucked up when I asked my girlfriend to come up with a list of reasons why we might break up. Why would you do that? Says Joe. Let's find out. Let's dive the fuck in. My girlfriend and I were lying in bed last night, cuddling and shit, when it dawned on me all of a sudden that none of my friends were in relationships anymore. All of them had broken up with their partners within the past few months, which was more or less the same length of time my girlfriend and I have been together. I thought. He doesn't say that.
Basically, he does, though.
Subtext. He does the kind of emoji, which I love. I shared this revelation with my girlfriend mid-cuddle before asking her what I thought was a funny and harmless question at the time.
There are no harmless questions.
All questions are designed for drama. You're welcome. I asked her what she thought would be the end of us and encouraged her to come up with ridiculous reasons only. Full disclosure, my girlfriend and I were both high during the inception of the fuck up, so keep that in mind if some of our actions come across as somewhat random.
Were they high when they wrote this as well?
It is not clear. Anyway, so as per my question, my girlfriend provided the following reasons that would cause our relationship to crumble. I'm so excited. If I stopped showering. Okay. If during sex I said, I'm going to come, ... question mark? If I lived on the 13th floor. If I psst at someone whose name I knew. That's PSST.
It's not pissed.
If I psst at someone who's...
I know who you are. Get my cock out and piss on you. Psst. All right, we're done. No more relationship.
It's when you want to tell someone something secret, like, psst, Jeremy. Oh, there's a gun.
I know that. You don't have to speak so quietly. Declare it loud and proud.
If I used a spoon to drink tea or coffee like it was medicine. That's funny. If I literally licked my thumb before turning to the next page of a book by like... That's very effective, actually. If I found out she had a dildo replica of her ex's penis. Listen, if you have that sort of thing and then you moved on, are you going to throw the penis away? I don't know. I paused my girlfriend when she got to the 7th reason and asked her if number 7 was something real or ridiculous. That old game show. Because it sounded a lot less random than the other reasons.
His voice probably did go up like that while he was having this conversation.
My girlfriend said it was both real and ridiculous, while laughing because at that point the atmosphere in the room was still light-hearted. I asked her why she still had her ex's fake penis in her possession. She shrugged and said it was a decent dildo.
Well, it's his real penis, but it's just a replica.
Mm.
I wouldn't call it a fake penis. It's definitely a real penis.
Mm. I was about to ask her if she still used the dildo, but she predicted my question and said it's been a long time since she used it.
It's in me right now,
she said, sitting awkwardly. But she predicted, yes, it's been a long time since she used it. I think my face was beginning to show my mixed feelings. That's what I was doing there. Because my girlfriend decided to tickle me out of the blue until I laughed and her ex's penis dropped out.
I was going to say, you should tickle her. That'll make it come out again. It's difficult to hold a dildo in when you're being tickled.
That ain't that the case.
Citation needed.
I did laugh, thanks to the tickle, but I was unable to forget about the clone a Willy situation.
Clone a Willy.
I was unable to forget about the clone a Willy situation.
If there's not a company called that does replica penises, then what the fuck is wrong with this world?
It was bugging me. I had to see it, so I asked my girlfriend to show it to me. I can't do it. She reluctantly agreed to show it to me if I promised to file this whole situation under something that means nothing and move on. I promised.
I lied.
For someone who said she struggled to remember when last she used a dildo, my girlfriend didn't even have to think about where she stored it. It's not like your passport, mate. She knows where it is.
She knows
it's
which
in
one's
her
her
drawer.
dildo drawer.
Fuck me, man. Not the treasure of the Sierra Madre. We know where it is. Right. Didn't have to think where she stored it. Just in case it's unclear, we were in her flat. Well, she definitely knew, because it was where she lived. As soon as I witnessed the clone dildo with my own two eyes, I knew, oh yeah, that shit was going to live rent-free in the back of my mind. Of course it was big. I mean, what other size is there when it comes to X's? Yeah, but you're going to be an X based on the rest of these things. And your penis isn't going to magically get bigger, so what are you talking about? There's more to it on the back. There's more to it. My girlfriend asked if I wanted her to get rid of it. My mind says yes. My body. My mind said yes, but my mouth said it was her choice. Dealer's choice. She shrugged and said it was just another sex toy. I said a promise is a promise before deciding to make her some coffee, which I drank with a spoon. By the way, I have to say that is such a great line for me, and I was really, really hoping that he would do that.
Something would call back.
That's a callback that is so beautifully done. And if he hadn't have said that, I would have definitely said it. This guy seems quite funny. See, that's the way to write a nice little bit.
Yeah, if you're going to write a fake ITA, then this is the way to do it.
Playing the breakup game was not the smartest decision on my part. Now I'm cursed with the knowledge that my girlfriend not only kept her ex's cloned cock, but most likely used it whenever she wanted, which may or may not have been during our relationship. TLDR, I playfully encouraged my girlfriend to come up with silly reasons that might cause our relationship to come to an end. Based on that, my girlfriend informed me that she had a replica of her ex's penis in the form of a dildo, which she enjoyed using. Needless to say, my playfulness turned to pain.
Sir, I do not think you know what TLDR means.
And I said that quite fast.
You basically retold the story.
You know, like, if he wanted,
he could use it.
Would
that make it less awkward?
Like, listen, once you've experienced it, maybe you'll see why I like it.
I mean, I think that's a surefire way to make her get rid of it, is if he used it. The notion of him using her ex's cock on himself would probably go, yeah, maybe I'll get rid of this, actually. Yeah, this seems like this dildo's had its day. And off it goes.
Do you know, in this situation, he could be fucking her, and then she could use a dildo in a different hole, and then it would be like
instant threesome.
Him and the ex were doing her at the same time, which is perhaps not something he'd consider.
No.
There are kits online to make these. People are so weird. Methinks thou doth protest too much, Joe. There's some kits. I don't even know. I don't know why I know that. I never bought it for anyone. We never used it. It never happened.
Hello, Duncan. And how the fuck are you? Welcome to Don't Get Me Started. Good to see you.
That should be the bit where it goes.
We could make the intro in Minecraft. That would be quite fun. I That sounds like a time
I just go
sink.
past. Like, yeah, we could just film it and do it. The thing.
Yeah.
And I just rush up to the screen.
Ah!
There are kits online to make these. If I made a version of my own penis in a mold, no doubt I could then extend it at the
Just add a shunt in the middle or whatever.
I could add a couple of inches to take it up to 12. Do you know what I mean? Which is not unreasonable. Yes, welcome in. I really enjoyed reading this, actually. I really enjoyed the various reasons why they might break up and how stupid they are, and it was a well-constructed. One of my favourites, that one.
It was a good one.
I liked it. I'm going to check it over here and hope it'll go in the bin. It won't.
It
went in the...
it made a bin-esque noise.
Hit the dishwasher.
Yeah, there you go.
Margaret won't be happy. I would never say that about her. Never tell her. You misspelled Hopper. Yeah, Hopper is a cunt. He was... that's the other game that's a bit like Minecraft, is Animal Crossing. You bimble around making happy little homes and hanging out with each other. So
right.
I would really like to play that. But the difference is that's £60 to buy, and Minecraft was £20 to buy.
And I already had Minecraft, as do most people.
Yes,
when they played it 20 years ago.
Yes. I'm late to the party.
Yeah, it's quite funny when my brother came to stay and we said that we were playing Minecraft. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'll jump on there for a bit," and he had to go back to like his original purchase because it had been bought by someone else since that point and then added to the Microsoft store. So he had to find out how to link it with Microsoft from how long ago he bought it.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, today I fucked up by telling my wife what hand I wipe with.
Oh, Jesus. Carry on.
Today I fucked up by telling my wife what hand I wipe with.
I mean, we all know what hand we wipe with.
Do we?
Let's find out. I presume it's your dominant hand.
This happened last night. It came up because I injured my right wrist and told her how strange it was to have to get used to wiping with my left hand. She looked stunned and then just kept saying over and over, "You're always supposed to wipe with your left hand." That's what I was taught. That's what everyone does. I just started laughing and said, "What does it matter which hand I use? Use what works. Wash your hands."
Yeah.
Eventually she calmed down and we moved on.
I was going to say, this poo etiquette. But she's on the phone to her mum like, "I can't believe the man I've married.
Unbelievable behaviour.
Wipes with the wrong hand."
I understand there were, and may still be, societal norms regarding which hand to use for wiping in some parts of the world, but we are born and raised in the USA, where, as far as I know, there is no social standard.
I love it. USA! It's the freedom to choose which
USA!
hand.
USA!
I'll choose. Listen, we didn't fight for our freedom not to choose which hand we were going to wipe our own ass with, and the government can't take that away from us.
No.
Biden can't take that away from us. Make arse great again. With whichever hand you want.
Make arse left again. Yeah, I've never heard of this.
I thought this was America.
Let me just TLDR this. I fucked up telling my wife I had to switch hands for wiping, and she freaked out because it was the wrong one. Have you ever heard of a specific hand for wiping?
No.
Also, if I tried to do it with my left hand, I would probably make a fucking mess. Like, I do not know how to use the wrong hand.
This came up at the day after the Don't Get Me Started 100, when we were hanging around in the Pullman Beer Garden. But I brought up something that when I'd gone to see David Hoare's comedy in Edinburgh, and some of you might have gone in to see David Hoare because he's someone that streams on Twitch, and so you might have seen him at some point. But he got us all to stand up in the room, and then he said, "Now, stay standing if you wipe your ass standing up, and sit down if you wipe your ass sitting down." And it was a revelatory experience.
Oh.
Because a whole bunch of us sat down, and a whole bunch of people didn't sit down. And that, honestly, seeing that room, because I was so certain that
everyone stayed sat down?
Everyone just would sit back down again.
Yeah.
But it was 50-50.
Well, it's always 50-50.
Of course it is, yes.
Either do or you don't.
Yeah. But a straw poll of the room suggested that 50% of the room had remained, and it was freaky to me.
That is, yeah. Why would you stand up?
But this is it. It was the best bit of the whole thing. You're thinking about it now.
You're making more mess as you close your butt cheeks together around the mess you have just made by standing up.
So in my head, it doesn't matter whether you use your left.
It doesn't matter whether you use your left or right. The Rock says, know your role and wipe your ass. If you smell, then you haven't wiped properly.
I like how you did all of that without going to the, shove it up your...
Turn it sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass.
Which seems to be the most obvious one, but you managed to kind of steer around. But yeah, it doesn't matter which hand you use, but I think it's interesting to learn that we don't all...
People are different.
And some of you are standing up, and some of you are sitting down.
Some of you are probably standing up wiping your ass right now.
And Dollars to Donuts, with 10 or 12 people in the chat. And you can all look around you in the chat. Some of you stand up.
And you're weird. I'll say it. Sit the fuck down.
Yes.
You arsey pooey smashers. Squidgers.
I don't know.
Down.
Just talk to people about it.
Should you put the tissue up there first and then stand up? I just don't understand the mechanics of it. I really this has fucked me up.
I know it has. It's confusing, isn't it? But this is the world we live in. See, I
want to get off.
See, the moment he said, "Sit down if you wipe your ass sitting down," I'm like,
now everyone sits down.
And now, I was so confident.
He's just giving us some exercise, guys.
He's just going to do.
And now everyone sits.
Honestly, I was like, and we all just looked at each other like, we never knew the world was never going to be the same again. Like the end of Animal Farm, everyone looked around at each other and realised that the world was fucked. So there you go. Have fun with thinking about that. Right, shall we move on?
Yeah. I thought it wasn't a particularly long one, but it was.
It's a good one.
It was an interesting one, especially with what you added to it.
I know, right?
Honestly. Right, where are we going next? Oh yes, it's not quite how we usually do it, but it definitely fits under this idea. So let's move to the segment that we like to call Agony with Alex.
Listen, you'll take my advice and you'll fucking like it.
So we don't have an agony with me this time, but I did dig out with the laziest Google search I could find. I found these before, actually, and forgot to use them. But there was something about funniest agony aunt columns, and I wanted to read some of the ones out because they amused me. There was one particular one which I'm going to lead to. But I just wanted to read some of these things out. And they're all stupid agony aunt ones. I found a better one than this, actually, I think. But anyway. So here's a couple, and I'll lead up to it. Dear Victoria, my flatmate keeps borrowing my watches without asking. I find this very annoying, especially when it's the Breitling, which is my Get Lucky watch. But I don't want to seem uptight. How can I stop him? And whoever this is says, you have a designer watch collection, but you can't afford to live alone. Are you a burglar? If so, write again with your address and I'll reply privately. I know several excellent fences. Moaning man. I have always woken up before my wife, and a few months ago, I got up and made her a cup of tea. Now she expects this as a matter of course, taking it for granted that I'll take her a cup in bed. What? And the person's just like, and your point is? It's such stupid shit. I am a 63-year-old married man. Are there any medicines to sexually excite a woman? I have a 50-year-old neighbour who could benefit from it, as she has lost her desire to have sex. Do help. Her gynecologist can help her. I am curious to know why you are concerned. What I really wanted is the one that was the last. Let's see if I can go back and find it. It was a really stupid one. See if I can find it. It was just this one where this person was like, oh, I'm never going to find it now. That's a real pity. Last night, I was naked and playing poker with my wife. A poker chip accidentally fell into her vagina. Are there any chances of pregnancy?
What? I had questions already, and then he asked a question.
Last night, I was naked and playing poker with my wife. A poker chip accidentally fell into her vagina. Are there any chances of pregnancy?
Fuck off, mate. You know there isn't.
Obviously, you're a novice player. Stick to the table and ensure you do not swallow the chip either way, vagina or the gullet. A pregnancy will not occur. Chips do not contain sperms.
How did it fall into her vagina? Like, against it? Fine. Maybe she's got particularly profound flaps and they'd like slotted in there. But into her vagina? Fuck off, mate. Into her vagina. I'm just going to say that one more time. I don't think he knows
how it's worked.
I don't think he's got a wife or has ever been naked. Honestly, what a weirdo.
I am 43 years old. My wife believes that I'm having an extramarital affair, but it's not true. Every day she applies nail polish on my penis to check if I'm being unfaithful. I feel a burning sensation and it hurts me. Please help. It's a very unusual piece of detective work. If you have no objection to the tattoo mark on your penis, ask your wife to find another substance that won't burn, or convince her of your loyalty.
That doesn't really help. Why would you put... Oh, I guess so it gets smudged if you do stuff? Wouldn't it get smudged over the natural course of the day anyway? Like,
yeah.
When you hold your cock to take a piss, or just rubbing against your underwear, like, it doesn't seem very scientific. It's not the greatest solution.
I really like this girl at work, but I'm not quite sure how to broach the subject. She always seems interested when I talk to her, but I've heard she has a boyfriend. Should I send her a picture of my penis?
And your answer would be yes, absolutely. If you can send a picture of your penis, do send a picture of your penis.
Okay, this is the one that's so stupid. Like those ones weren't.
I've already lost my shit at some of these, so if you think one is even worse...
I just think this is amusing to me. Does she think she's having sex with acetone?
Yeah, if he's cheating on me, then it'll be cleaned off completely, right?
Right.
Yeah. Vacuum blowjob lips. Off it comes.
I see. Like, how do you put yourself in that situation where it's like, oh, present your penis for the nail polish? I'm like, fuck off.
I'd rather break up, to be honest, love.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Maybe I will go and cheat on you with someone so that I can just put an end to this bullshit once and for all.
Come back and it's not there. You just rub it off yourself. Oh, yeah, I came off when 3 women sucked my dick. I guess we're done.
Yeah. Jesus.
Final one. My boyfriend is the biggest chatterbox I've ever met. A man after my own heart. Oh, but he's a cunt, so it could be me.
Still accurate. Yeah, keep going.
My boyfriend is the biggest chatterbox I've ever met, and what makes it worse is that on the rare occasions I do manage to get a word in edgeways, he stares at me vacantly, so it's clear he's not listening to a word I say. I know someone like this. I want to dump him, but there's a weird reason I haven't.
It's because he won't listen, and you won't know you've done it. Just be sat there alone going, I wonder when my girlfriend's getting home.
Can you think of reasons we might break up? How about if I put nail varnish on your penis?
That's a great callback.
Boom. I want to dump him, but there's a weird reason I haven't. He's got a third nipple in the center of his rib cage, and when he takes his t-shirt off, his torso resembles a very kind-looking face. It's as though his regular nipples look like eyes, his additional nipple a little nose, and his belly button a cute, surprised little mouth. Anyway, I've taken to calling this chess man Christopher, and when my boyfriend is sleeping, I have long, one-sided conversations with him about my feelings and what's happened during the day. Christopher's a great listener, and though he never responds, it's clear he oozes compassion and sympathy. I've even started to develop strong sexual feelings for Chris, and taken to kissing his mouth/belly button when my boyfriend is snoring heavily.
Yeah, no thanks.
I mean, there isn't even an answer to that one. I wonder if there's on the other one.
How do you answer that one? I defy any seasoned agony aunt to to give that one an answer.
It's so good.
Had you considered therapy? Because that's literally all I've got. Jesus Christ.
They just churn them out. Anyway, that was the main one. I really enjoyed that one. That was the one I really wanted to read out to you guys because it's so fucking stupid.
And disgusting.
I've taken to calling this chess man Christopher. When my boyfriend is sleeping, I have long one-sided conversations with him about my feelings and what happened during the day. What is going on? I believe this must be fake.
Absolutely.
But I would
but
love...
there are some people who are cracked in that way that would do that.
I just love the idea that she's like, no one understands me like you do, Christopher. No, he's dead to the world.
Was that... some of these are blurred together a bit. He's the one that is the chatterbox. And
yeah.
you talk to him and all you get back is a vacant stare.
Yeah.
But she's quite happy to have a conversation with his belly button.
She's finally having her conversation.
Which also has a vacant stare. So how is it any different to talking to the main guy with the vacant stare?
Listen, the whole thing's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I like that that's my question out of all of this. That's
I like your reaction to it,
I want to know.
I really want to know more. Oh, I say... Oh no, there's more to it. It's just finished.
Oh,
there's more. I found it. While my boyfriend is snoring heavily. On the other version, which I went back to, the other side, because they're on 2 different pages. I've taken to even started to develop strong sexual feelings for Chris and taken to kissing his mouth/belly button when my boyfriend is snoring heavily. I realized things had gotten out of hand when I became frantic one morning last week after spotting some belly button fluff in my boyfriend's navel. Take it out, I screamed. Christopher's choking. What should I do? I'd love to say it happens all the time, Karen, but that would be a lie. You are a strange, troubled woman, and though I'd normally suggest a straitjacket for the deeply disturbed, in your case I'd worry about your developing an inappropriate relationship with the buttons used to keep you constrained. Best to put up with your motor-mouth boyfriend if it means you can indulge your oddball fetish. Just promise you won't start introducing Chris to your friends. Well, that's the kind of shit that happens to other agony aunts. We've never had one of that.
I mean, what you've got is tame in comparison, really.
I'm very thankful for that.
Well, if you would like to, now that you know what the level is, if you would like to share and get some advice from Alex about some weird or disgusting thing that's going on in your life, do write in to Don't Get Me Started, and Alex will cut you down in a similar way.
I will.
Yeah. Right, shall we move swiftly forwards into our final segment?
Yes.
They are not long today.
We're rattling through it, but that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No needs to dwell, is there? So let's move to our final segment. It's time. Am I the arsehole?
Am I the asshole? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Just looking at how well timed it is with Skinner's mouth. I hadn't really thought about it before, but you have to come back in at the right time, you know? You have to have the right,
right cadence.
The right cadence. I'm just going to go and get some Pepsi Max because I want to drink some.
Sure, I mean, there's some here. Or do you want cherry?
I want to cherry it up.
You want to cherry it up. Been sat on his leg the entire time. I'll pour myself a Pepsi, while we're providing ourselves with refreshments before Am I the Arsehole? And I will use the opportunity to tell you that Am I the Arsehole is the segment in which, much like Today I Fucked Up Earlier, we read some stories, but this time it's not how people have fucked up. People need to know whether they are the arsehole in this situation, or whether it's everyone but them. And the answer is it's usually everyone but them. But unless it's a mother-in-law or a neighbour.
Many people can be assholes.
Yeah. There's a little arsehole in all of us. Right. I've got 2, you've got 1. Yours is quite... No,
I'm a little...
They're all brief. All 3 are brief.
Okay.
But go with it.
So you're going to go first and I'll do one, you'll do one.
Correct.
Cool.
Am I the arsehole?
Yes.
And that's the end of our segment. Good night.
Fuck shit store.
Am I the arsehole for telling my daughter she doesn't have to be polite to people who are rude to her?
I think I saw this earlier.
Again, it's not long, but it will certainly elicit some opinions. My daughter, 11F, is so softly spoken and can take a while to get her thoughts out, which means that people, including family, have a tendency to speak over her. Her brother, 14M, started talking over her at dinner tonight, and I butted in and told her, if she's not finished, to loudly say, "I'm talking!"
I'm talking! There's something behind that. But anyway, carry on. Yes, I love it.
My husband said, well, you should say, "Sorry, I'm still talking," in a calm tone.
Sorry, I haven't finished yet.
But I disagreed and said she doesn't have to be polite to people who are being rude to her. Who is right?
I sort of love that. I mean, what I will say is just because someone else is being rude doesn't mean you have to stoop to that level. You're right. I mean, that said, I have a kind of feeling that if someone... I will match you with the level you give me.
Yeah, rude begets rude.
Yeah, if someone at work is like, yeah, well, the problem is, I'll be like, well, it's not a problem at all. And they'll be like, why are you having a go? I'm like, you pitched it. You tell me which level. If you talk to me calmly, you get calm. And if you talk to me like a cunt, you get contempt. But...
yeah, a cunt for a cunt. It's in the Bible.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's easier for a cunt to go through the eye of a needle. Hey, I'm talking here!
That's the best way to do it, because it's rude and funny.
But I'm talking here! Hey! What are you doing? Hey! I just...
interrupt me again, you're gonna be swimming with the fishes!
I do love the outraged Sopranos A. Oh! What are you doing?
I need to watch The Sopranos again. It's been too long.
Just for that.
Yeah.
You're busting I'm just busting your balls. I'm just busting your balls.
I'll stop 10 minutes before the end of the series, though.
Hey! Yeah, I mean... I skim read that one earlier when I was looking at things. I wasn't sure where it was going to go. And probably it's short. I hadn't thought about considering it. But I think it's a good idea to teach that the response should be at first calm, as it were. And I think there is a way in that situation. I just want to finish just for a moment. You know, can I just let me finish that thought? Is probably a better way to set yourself up for the future than teaching someone from the get-go that we should escalate to 20,
straight to 100,
which is what everyone does in MAFS, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone in MAFS goes, yeah, but I'll tell you what. And I often say to Alita, like, no one ever taught these guys just to like talk normally. They all go, ah!
And I think the issue here is that the ARP has been observing this behaviour for quite some time and is exasperated on her behalf.
Yes.
And so she has kind of taken it upon herself and is like, well, this has been going on for too long and I'm already fucked off, so I'm going to come in at 100 immediately. Whereas the child might have been annoyed internally, but hasn't done anything about it.
I'm mad.
And should probably just try a softer approach before going straight to, shut the fuck up, you cunt, I was talking!
I'm talking! There was a guy who used to work for immigration. I can't remember. I know his first name was Richard, but I don't remember. He was an inspector.
Inspector Richard.
Inspector Richard. I'm pretty... Actually, I'll tell you what. Captain Brilliant will remember. But anyway, he was Inspector. He was a nice enough guy, but he could sometimes be a bit odd. Sadly passed away now, but...
Oh. Well, we can talk ill of him then.
Yes. I mean, I always got on with him, but he could be a bit up himself and arrogant unnecessarily, as will be borne out by the phrase I've already said that he says. And he was in the watch house, which is the area that kind of looks over like the control to where the chief immigration officers
I mean,
sit.
we've got a watch house, haven't we? And this is what we watch over.
Yeah, we look over. That's what it looks like. This is from the watch house.
Yeah.
And it gives you a very clear view of all the important things that happen.
The only thing that's important, really.
Yeah,
the important messages of the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just leave that there. Bring it up all the time. And yeah. So functionally, the watch house is there for people to come in and make referrals. Because if someone needs to be questioned further in a secondary interview, then you need to come in and go, hey, I've got to talk to you about some stuff. And the crowd, the hall is full of people. It's a time-sensitive place. So you need to come in and go, hey, and the only job for the chief there is to listen to your referral and say, here is the person I'm talking to. I'm not sure about X, Y, Z. And they go, okay, interesting. And then the decision gets made. Snap, 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 snap. Stuff happening. And this guy came in and this Inspector Richard was talking to the chief. And while nothing else was happening, they're happy to shoot the shit. But a conversation like that should pause when actual real work interjects. So someone, I mean, I'm sure it was probably Captain Brilliant, but someone came in to say, he said, excuse me, to break into the flow of the conversation. Ted, I've got someone I need to talk, and he goes in to talk about the referral of the person, and breaking right in, Richard goes, I'm talking in this shrill, angry little man voice. I'm talking. So now whenever I hear I'm talking, it just like brings me back to, I wasn't even there, but I know I'm talking. The person's like, right, yes, but you know, we're all working for the Home Office here and doing our fucking jobs, and you're shooting the shit.
Which should have been the response,
but no,
possibly wasn't.
No, it wasn't the response. And he just like, but no, do carry on your secondary conversation. I'm sure it's fucking thrilling. While the hall spills out onto the fucking, onto the concourse. But I'm talking. So, what was the thing at the top of this?
Oh yeah, we've got to give a judgment, haven't we? Am I the arsehole for telling my daughter she doesn't have to be polite to people who are rude to her?
I think you are the arsehole. I would say I think you are the arsehole. I don't think it's good advice to teach people to go from 0 to 60.
Yeah, and I know there's prior, but also it's not your prior, it's your daughter's.
I think it's a classy thing to develop a skill to disarm them in an equally if not possibly more effective way. Because if you shout at someone, they just shout back, and then you're just ping, 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 and scoring points against each other. So
you're close to being not the arsehole, but unfortunately, you have just tipped into the arsehole.
Yeah,
you're like on the hair.
The edge.
Just in there a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Am I the arsehole?
You absolutely
are. For telling my parents' best friend that she should find something better to do than interfere in teenage relationships.
Is this about MAFS?
Teenage dream. I wonder if this is coming at me this time. Am I the arsehole for telling my parents' best friend, there's always a best friend, A, that she should find something better to do than interfere in teenage relationships? I, 18M.
Teenage relationships. Down, down. It's always teenage relationships.
What is this song really?
It's Barbara O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm not, bemoaning your inability to do it. I didn't get it. But I got it now. I've got it. It was your fault, really. I, 18M, was in a relationship with and really loved her daughter, Anna, 18.
Which part of that's not true? Anna or 18?
It's the daughter bit. I was 18. In a relationship with and really loved her daughter, Anna. Whose daughter, Anna?
The person in the
person
title.
In the title, yeah, but you need
the parent's best friend.
Yeah, but like you shouldn't relate to your first title.
You do need an opening gambit.
You can't have context from the title. Jesus, just fucking hell.
Okay, I guess we've decided.
Hit the button. Hit the button. And you're an arsehole, mate. You can't fucking write. But we'll read it because we want to get to the bottom here. Don't make me write a strongly worded Minecraft letter to you. I, 18M, was in a relationship with and really loved her daughter, Anna, also 18. But then Anna broke up with me for a guy she was cheating on me with. I mean, at least it's that guy. Because if you broke up with me for a guy after you cheated with someone else and then went out with someone else, two people in this relationship. For a while, I was an inconsolable mess. This is my childhood sweetheart, and I was planning on proposing to her one day. Gosh darn it. She was prom queen, and I was the quarterback. All those other cool things. But I eventually got over her. Because I was 18.
I still had a lot more life to live. And this was my first girlfriend.
It didn't matter. Then she came knocking on the front door.
Knocking on the door.
Knockety knock. And my parents let her in.
Somebody's fucking the ex.
She was holding a dildo. Of all the nerve, I said. My parents let her in and sent her up to my room. You don't think your parents might have been informed that, can we have a list by the door like when you have a bar, people who are banned?
Sorry, Anna. Your name's not on the list and you're not getting in.
I've got a list of people I can let in through the front door. The ex that broke my son's heart. Yeah, that's fucking on it. But anyway, I said, my parents let her in. I went a bit Christopher Walken there for a moment. I can't help it. I can't help it. Sent her to my room. They still have hopes that she and I would reconcile. Bless the idiotic parents who are probably in their 30s, I would imagine, and don't know what the fuck they're talking about either. She told me she made a mistake and left the other guy already, saying she wants me back. Unless we learn from the song I Want You Back, by the time you get around to going back with them, then, you've lost your chance. And, well, the words bear that out in the song. I'm sure you've all heard it. I told her...
Couldn't understand it, though. It was far too high-pitched.
I want you back.
Sorry, Michael. Could we have that again? I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I told her no.
No!
No. Yes. My ex still tried to convince me to give it a try, though. I mean, did she try very hard? Because I could think some ways that might help convince you. She kept pressing me and asking me what she has to do to earn my forgiveness. So I snapped at her, "You have a much better chance of finding Voldemort's nose than getting me back." Which sounds like a line employed just for the purposes of writing this Am I the Arsehole? Because there's no way in hell...
You didn't say that in the spur of the moment.
You did not say that in the spur of the moment.
Damn, I wish I said that. I'll say I said that.
I'll say I said it.
Because that's... Well, it's not a killer line.
It's not a great line.
It's certainly better than just saying no, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm wrong. You should have just said no.
You have a much better chance of finding Voldemort's nose. That suggests that in one point in the earlier episodes, he lost his nose.
Well, I mean, he must have done. He was a,
he was a man.
A man.
He was a man.
Yeah.
Tom Riddle. And so he did gradually become more monstrous. But it strikes me that his nose become... Anyway, I don't want to get into the... It just feels like...
Is his nose gone? Or is it just formed like a skin over the front of his face?
Yeah, it's like a flattened kind of nose. Yeah. So it's almost like over time his monstrousness has made his face look strange. So it's still there, but...
Also, it's bullshit.
It's obviously bullshit. So But I would have probably picked something that...
wasn't such nerdy bullshit to try and...
At least makes the analogy better. Anyway, then I told her to leave, saying I never want to see her face again.
She didn't hear me. She was too busy laughing at how bad my joke was.
I say I never want to see her face again.
Her ass, however...
We saw. And this, of course, it's on the FBI's Most Wanted poster next to my door of people my parents absolutely positively don't let in the fucking house. Her mum, my parents' best friend. Here it is. Her mum, my parents' best friend, later visited and told me I shouldn't be so closed-minded. She visited. Sounds like when the angels visit Jesus. Like, she visited me in the night. She opened... It was like, who's that? Like in Christmas Carol. It was, "You'll be visited by 3 mother-in-laws in the night."
Ebenezer, I come with a message. You shouldn't be so close-minded. She only fucked a guy.
Give my daughter another chance. Let's see what happens in the future. Get the fuck out of my bedroom.
Also, she found Voldemort's nose. It was there the whole time, underneath the layer of skin.
It's just what he looks like now. Oh. Are we saying he's the anti-Pinocchio? Everyone's anti-Pinocchio. It's shit. Every time he does evil, his nose gets smaller. It's like, Avada Kedavra! Son of a bitch.
Yeah. It's Auntie Pinocchio, but on the other side, it's the auntie of the mother-in-law.
Yes, that's true.
The mother-in-law's sister, Auntie Pinocchio.
Yes.
And that was shit, but that was still better than the Voldemort joke.
That's quite funny. Her mum, my parents' best friend, arrived as the ghost of Christmas future and said I shouldn't be so close-minded. She said I was being unfair since the other guy was really good-looking.
Oh, yeah, that's
lead with that.
Perfectly reasonable excuse to cheat then, isn't it? Yeah.
So I told her that she shouldn't interfere in teenage relationships and I should find something more productive to do instead. Yeah, I don't believe you said that either, mate.
No.
Oh, you're 18 years old. Please don't talk to me. What are you doing in my room?
Fuck off, Karen.
She glared at me and left. She used a port key. That's another thing. Just rolling with the, My parents told me that I didn't have to be so rude to their friend. But I said, listen,
fuck off!
If they're rude to me, then I should be rude back to them. And they were like, oh,
You make a good point there, Michael.
An excellent point.
Back to trying to find Voldemort's nose for you.
Fuck that nose.
Fuck that nose.
Am I the arsehole for telling my parents' best friend to go fuck herself, man?
Yeah, basically is what he said, isn't it?
Yeah, I just wanted to I want to spice it up a little bit and swear.
Yeah, they didn't provide a TLDR, so you did.
No, quite. Yeah. Listen, you're not the arsehole for telling your parents' best friend to fuck off because she was being a dickhead. And I don't believe any of this really happened. It feels really weirdly strange, but...
Yeah, I think the event happened, but then you've tried to embellish it along the way to make yourself sound cool.
To big yourself up.
And you have failed. So, for the scenario, you are not the arsehole.
No.
But for trying to make yourself look like the big man on campus, you are the arsehole.
Yes. Yes.
I think that about sums it up, don't you?
It does. It does. So I really enjoyed that one, actually. I enjoyed reading that. So now we only have one left, which is really good, because by the time you've read this one, which will probably take us about 5 minutes to read, and because I'll keep interrupting, interrupting you and messing around, we'll probably get out under 10 o'clock, which is really cool.
Easily, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Here we go, then.
Do it.
Am I the arsehole?
Yet again, yes.
No. It doesn't normally come to this. Normally, so I only get told I'm an arsehole once.
Yes, normally I read 2. I think you often say, you read 2. Yeah. You're reading 2. Yeah. So you get to be an arsehole twice.
Lucky me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the arsehole for telling my mum that she is the reason she lost me and my dad?
Well, in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told us you were going to fucking JCPenney's.
She's really small and she hid underneath the bottom shelf.
It's all on you.
She's a borrower. Am I the arsehole for telling my mom she is the reason that she lost me and my dad?
Lost me, is this the way?
It is an interesting turn of phrase.
Marco!
Polo! My 18M mom was catfished. She had an emotional affair with and sent money to a scammer pretending to be Chris Hemsworth.
Stop!
I knew this would get you. I knew this would be what would break you.
Oh, Jesus. What? Where is she? She's chatting on,
Facebook.
Oh,
it's Chris Hemsworth.
What a bit of luck. Are you the real Chris Hemsworth?
Yes, totally.
Send me a picture. There's him as Thor.
It's there with, Getty images over the front of it.
Do you really need a picture? I'm Chris Hemsworth.
You know who Chris Hemsworth is.
It's
I'm Chris Hemsworth.
Make a good point.
Yeah, excellent point. Well made.
What about a picture with you holding Thor's hammer? No problem.
Okay. Chris Hemsworth as Thor holding the hammer.
Weren't you also in that new Ghostbusters film?
Chris Hemsworth in Ghostbusters.
I'm convinced.
Yeah. So, not the greatest start for dear old mom, but here we go. Had an emotional affair with and sent money to a scammer pretending to be Chris Hemsworth.
Jesus, what did Chris Hemsworth... Did she not notice that, I could really do with £100, actually?
Why would Chris Hemsworth need money? The guy's fucking loaded.
Exactly right. Does that not ring alarm bells? It's like, I'm trying to get a bus to cross the country.
Sorry, love, I spent all my money on the food I needed to get fat for that shit Marvel
film. That Ragnarok film or whatever.
Yeah. Honestly.
That didn't ring alarm bells, no. Well... She was so happy to chat to Chris Hemsworth. He couldn't have just played it simpler and made himself one of the less
Chris
well-known...
Chris Hemsworth's cousin.
Yeah.
Or something.
I am... There's several brothers, and,
Yeah.
It could have been more credible by a small amount. Anyway, sorry, carry on, because I just fucking can't. I'm going to interrupt the whole thing. But, yeah, it's just...
The $8,000 she sent to him over the course of being scammed was one thing.
Oh, Jesus.
But what made Dad's decision to go through with divorce really easy was the nauseating lovey-dovey messages between the two of them, including one where she told the scammer she was planning to leave us for him. Last night, she came over and asked Dad for a second chance. That she wants to be with us again.
No!
She said she was sorry, and it wasn't her fault.
She was a cunt.
Dad was too stunned to say anything. He just stared at her incredulously when she said she wasn't in the wrong, then looked at me while struggling to find the words. It's the same look he gives me whenever he wants to decline drinks. Whenever he wants me to decline drinks on his behalf. It's the same look he wants... No. What's that? No. It's the same look he gives me whenever he wants me to decline drinks on his behalf. There we go.
Why? So someone says, do you guys want some drinks?
Do you want to go out for drinks?
And then the daughter or the son...
The son.
Goes, no, we don't.
No, he's not interested. He'd tell you, but he
wants me to tell you for some reason.
Hopeless.
Same story. Anyway.
But my mum left him for Chris Hemsworth. So...
Man, that's a story to tell.
It's the same look he gives me whenever he wants me to decline... Fucking hell. It's the same look he gives me whenever he wants me to decline drinks on his behalf. So I jumped in. I reminded her that she promised the scammer that she would leave me and Dad for him, and that it's her own fault we don't want anything to do with her.
This is mad if this is true. Like, think about this. She's gone all in, pushed all her $8,000 worth of chips across the table. Presumably at some point during this, I mean, they know now. There's this point, they know.
Well, most people probably knew immediately, but it took her a while to realise that she had not sent $8,000 to Chris Hemsworth.
Well, yeah, that, but what I mean, I suppose, really is that, like, how did this come out? You know, they said, like, what annoyed the dad was the chat back and forth, the lovey-dovey chats. How does he even know?
He must have just looked on her phone or something.
You know, he's just found this lovey...
Message comes through.
This is so sad. I hope it's not true. I know, right?
I mean, it's fucking hopeless on this woman's behalf.
It is really sad. You get married to someone and suddenly you get chatting to someone and whatever's going in the marriage is happening and you get in chatting to someone. And it's one thing to get chatting to someone real and in your town and going, I want to be with you.
Like, there's being catfished and that happens every day. And yes, that is sad. But also... Really? Like, how gullible are you to think that of all the people in the world,
this is just...
Chris Hemsworth has decided you, a married woman with an 18-year-old boy, to strike up a relationship with? Of all the choices that Chris Hemsworth, a fucking Adonis, has, he's chosen you, but he needs $8,000 in order to make this happen. Like, seriously?
For a small business making clogs.
Seriously, guy? Girl? Whatever?
It's just... Someone, you must have something. Oh God, so terrible. I just noticed this isn't plugged in. Okay. Yeah. It is so weird. It's super weird, and there's clearly something. How this person who's pretending to be Chris Hemsworth in a call center
probably could not believe his fucking luck when he ran into this woman.
He must be just nudging the people.
We're like, yeah,
I got one.
I'm going to try Chris Hemsworth this time. It's not going to work. I know it's not going to work.
But it's like,
but
mate.
At least I'll have a laugh sending her a picture of Thor.
Don't do Chris Hemsworth. It never fucking works. Well, 456 times the charm.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to make Chris Hemsworth work.
Do the Hemsworth. It's like, I am Chris Hemsworth. Oh my God, are you really? Yes. But I need $8,000 to save my dog because he's like, you know, super sick and that shit. Yo. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Venmo or whatever it is.
Yes! The Chris Hemsworth worked!
Get Hemsworth worked!
I did the Hemsworth!
He's still so ill. Perhaps another $1,000. Also, like another 1,000 just, you know, because my con is fixed. Keep money books. Anyway, yes, carry on wherever you were.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the end, really.
I just don't understand.
She said, I can't blame her since she was manipulated, and that it's like victim blaming.
I mean, she was the victim of a scam.
Yes.
But she actively wanted to pursue love.
Yes. Well, she actively wanted to cheat on her husband and leave her husband and son. So it's less like victim blaming and more just blaming.
What I will say, though, is can you really blame someone who thought, for one moment, but just one moment, they were going to get it on with Chris Hemsworth? Because I think that's if there had really been Chris Hemsworth in the end of this line, you wouldn't have blamed... She would have been fine.
Yeah, but you'd have met Chris Hemsworth before you professed your love for Chris Hemsworth and said you'd run away with Chris Hemsworth. Like, at any point did you think, I should probably meet up with Chris Hemsworth and get my photo taken by the paparazzi or something?
Like, imagine if she'd have turned around to her husband and said, imagine you were talking to Scarlett Johansson.
She's there at the door with her bags. I'm leaving you for Chris Hemsworth. All right then, love. See you later.
See you back in a minute. Like, it would be funny if he just said, listen, put yourself in my shoes. If you had a chance with this smoking hot woman, and you thought for one moment it's a chance, you'd have gone for it, wouldn't you? And it's like, that's an interesting argument to make.
Yeah. Also, I'd have probably had sex with her before I left you and our
I
son,
would want some hard proof.
Inside her, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd want to know before I commit all the way, because I have to say, I think there's a greater chance of the leaving happening if you just turn around and there's Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is there at the end of your drive in a U-Haul waiting to take you and your stuff away from this relationship.
Yes. Like, okay then. My ex's friend that she used to live with met Stone Cold Steve Austin on holiday and had a picture with him. Right. Only it was not in any way Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nice. It just was this bald dude. It was just a bald guy.
Who doesn't look like Stone Cold Steve Austin sometimes?
And I think he might have been selling mugs. I swear to God, they had a mug with his face on it. And so, like, I swear there was a mug. Like, said, do you want to buy a mug? You know, like, he bought a load of Austin 316 mugs.
Right.
And was flogging them as part of the, hey, I'm Stone Cold. But, like, isn't that enough to kind of look at the picture and look at him and you'd be like... But he looks enough of it, like, if you're in a darkened room with, you know, your eyes
no
closed.
eyes. With your eyes bludgeoned out by a steel chair.
I might... but yeah, no, I'm pretty sure there was a mug, because it stays in my memory.
Yeah, the mug was the person stood next to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And that's the bottom line! Because Stone Cold said so. But yeah, I just love this whole thing about...
Like, I do have genuine sympathy for people who are genuinely catfished. Not so much people who are catfished while they're already in relationships, because you brought that on yourself. You were looking to cheat and you get what you deserve. But generally, I do sympathise.
How do you get the money out of them? What can you tell someone without even have to meet?
I mean, most of the time it's like, I'd really love to come and meet you and come and spend time with you, but I can't afford the airfare. And you don't get $8,000 out of them. You get like $1,000 for the plane ride or whatever. And you're like, yeah, and I'll book my tickets and I'll come and see you. And then they're standing there at the airport with a sign and they never turn up. They're $1,000 lighter, and then that's the end of the catfishing, basically.
This sounds what I'm hearing here, Jeremy, if I'm hearing anything at all, is that we should be catfishing.
There's
people.
Easy money to be made, absolutely.
There is so much easy money to be made.
That is
they could take from their pocket and put it into my pocket if I just need to pretend to be... I mean, by the way, it's ostentatious to choose Chris Hemsworth. And you could have chosen...
And even more ostentatious to choose Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was better than the Voldemort joke as well. See?
That was.
And that was also a bad joke.
That was good. That was good. I should have saved my Stone Cold Said So bit. No, I didn't know we were going to hit a line like that. But here's the thing. If I thought, sometimes you could just pretend to be some honey from wherever you want to be. Yeah. Like, I'm such and such from this place, and here's some pictures, and I look like this, and you send enough of those pictures out and enough of these kind of like forums or wherever you do this sort of stuff, Facebook or other, they used to go through a spate of people trying to like send a lot of fake people would try and be your friend. They're like, hi, I want to be your friend. Let's have sex and delete. And it happened on Instagram loads, and then suddenly it just stopped. I don't know if they went, it ain't happening back
I don't understand.
Back at Scammer Central.
Like, there's a lot of time having to be put into that kind of thing, and I don't know how they actually get people.
Yeah.
Like,
they can't, because it's just like, it must be like, now, how are we doing with our scamming people based on pretending to be Lithuanian honeys? Well, we've had 3 people, and how many have you sent out? 1 million. It's like, right, that ain't working.
No.
But
and how much money have you raised? Oh, like none, because the people that actually replied don't have any money to send for flights. They're just desperate, hopeless people.
But, if I thought that the classic, I come from a place that has a visa requirement, say Russia, not now, that could be even more ostentatious to pull that one off. I am honey from wherever, and here's some pictures that I found on the internet. And now I'm going to send them to you, and you're going to want to be with me, but I can't come here unless you give me this money. It's just so easy. And listen, these walls don't repaint themselves, Jeremy.
They don't, no.
I could spend
You could get a Lithuanian honey in to paint your walls. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
And you could look at her at the same time. It's a win-win situation.
It's unbelievable.
Is that how catfishing works?
Yes. I'll send her some money.
You lure a Lithuanian honey in to paint your walls and look at her ass as she does so?
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does sound pretty good, actually.
Sounds good. You better make a decision on your...
Yes, indeed. Am I the arsehole for telling my mom that she is the reason she lost me and my dad?
No, you're not the arsehole. And it surprises me that she doesn't know that.
Maybe she should get a second opinion from Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, call that guy up.
Chris, they're not letting me back. The fuck? Like, I literally told you I'm a catfish. Could you leave me alone?
Was it you that's telling me that Joel Dommett,
host of The Masked Singer and Survivor, yes.
Either you told me or Duncan told me that for some reason he got hold of this picture of some woman, or someone was sending this person's pictures around.
Right.
I have to find the story, but effectively it wasn't her. Someone was claiming to be... Someone tried to maybe catfish him or something. Someone sent some pictures to him saying, this is me. And he was like... And a small amount of looking into it, I honestly can't remember, meant that he discovered it wasn't that person. It's like, no, you're talking bollocks. And then he tracked down who that person was in the picture to say, someone's using your fucking pictures, and ended up dating them.
That's incredible.
I have to find...
I did not know that.
I think Duncan told me that. I hope he's still on. Maybe he can confirm it. But I swear, I thought it was either you or Duncan that told me
that. It wasn't me, because I have not heard that before.
I'll get that proper story. But yeah, he basically... I can't remember why he ended up in the possession of this picture, but I presume some wanker scammer was just like, hey, looking for a hot celebrity person who can kind of get on that hot... Hey, I saw you on Masked Singer. This is my picture. And he went, this is bullshit. Who is this person for real? Because if I really knew her, she'd be amazing. Tracked her down and went, hey, is this you? Someone's using your shit. Let's go out.
It's a smooth move, Joel. I've got to give it to you.
And they say the scammers awesome. Can't do it. They got those guys, those crazy kids worked out. So
scammers are basically matchmakers.
God bless
disguise,
the scam. And you know, is that worth $8,000? Probably.
It is to Joel Dommett. He's got the money.
Mm-hmm.
With that Masked Singer dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we come to the end of that, and look, it's like 9 minutes to 10.
Yeah, our three-iters really did carry us through. I thought that we would have been done ages ago, but they were brief, but they were good.
Yes.
If I do say so myself.
So we're going to wrap up now, as we normally do. Hey, do you know what? Hey, Alex and Alex, we're both Alex. Oh, do you know, I was thinking of raiding, but I just want to see if there's anything worth raiding.
Anybody worth raiding? Yeah, we can.
Who am I following? Man. I mean, like Dying Star. We could go and see. He's testing out something.
It's the artist formerly known as ABG.
We could go to ABG.
Yeah.
My friend Agent. Let's go to ABG. Let's just raid across. Yeah. There's only a few of us, but we could go and see ABG.
Why not? Yeah. Here's the story from Duncan. He was catfish, scammed into webcam action. Oh. They tried to get money from him, but he went public with it. Then he found the real woman and hooked up with her.
Yes, I mean, it sounds redundant to say, yes, that's it. But like all those extra little bits where like...
the bit where he was jerking off on camera and got scammed.
They tried to get money from him and he just went, he just went, fine, I'm fucking telling everybody, yeah, I did this shit. And now you can do fuck all.
There is a lot of power in that.
And then he found the real woman and hooked up with her. That's the ultimate baller move, isn't it? Because she's going to know how... Funny story. She's going to obviously know how they got together. I thought I was with you.
I thought you'd seen my cock already. Turns out it wasn't you. Someone else has seen my cock.
But would you like to?
Yes? Okay, great. Scene.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And a really fun story to end the whole thing, basically.
Yeah.
Well, stay around because we'll go across to... It's nice. We thought it might be nice to raid some people. It might be nice to drop in to see ABG.
Yeah.
Go and encourage. I don't know really what he's doing. Testing out the classic. He's just chatting. It doesn't matter. We'll go and see him and see what's going on. I'll do that in a minute. Yeah. Right. But how are we going to end the show?
I mean, sometimes I would ask you a question and you'd give me an answer.
Yeah.
But really, I think there's only one way we can end the show today.